Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we'll start with the latest on that security scare just steps from the White House. A truck slamming into a barrier. Now the driver's detained, and we'll tell you the latest at this hour. Also, the negotiation going late into the night to deal on a deal to avoid catastrophic default. Where the talks stand as the clock ticks down. And the new warning this morning from the Surgeon General on teens and social media. Parents, you don't want to miss this one right here on GMA.
We have flashing lights on one TransGuide camera this morning. Let's take a live look right now. 151 at Loop 410. This is the eastbound lane. Slow going, everybody having to merge to the right. Steve will have an update coming up.
Let's look out there with live cams starting at a humid 70 degrees. Things will warm up a little bit to about the 80s again today. But we're going to check in with Mike to see what we can expect overnight and for the rest of the week.
Live from KSAT 12. Good morning, San Antonio starts right now.
Hi there. Good morning. It is time to rise and shine with us. It is Tuesday, May 23rd.
Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Let's go ahead and check in with Mike to see what we can expect today. I know, not too bad with the 80s all around later today.
No, and that little bit of orange. The the early hint of
a little bit earlier every day.
The sunrise. Got some broken clouds out there, obviously, and 80s right where we should be. Yesterday was actually on the cool side of things. It was a really pleasant day. The humidity's up somewhat this morning, and with some of these breaks in the clouds and again relatively high humidity, we are seeing a little bit of fog in places. Gonzales at 1.5 miles visibility. Hints of it right there around Pleasanton, Stinson. So again, keep saying all morning long, just be on the lookout for some of that to kind of thicken up because it can get really thick at times and then go back to pretty good visibility in just a matter of minutes, basically. 2.5 miles visibility at Victoria. Beeville has actually improved somewhat, and then you got a little bit of fog heading out in toward Uvalde as well as in Eagle Pass this morning. Temperatures, we are at 70 right now and got some broken clouds. We are going to see more sunshine throughout the rest of the day, and that's going to warm us up fairly quickly. We'll make it up to 83 today at noon and then top off today at 88. Yes, above yesterday's 85, but again, this is the normal high temperature. Everything's pretty tranquil overall throughout the rest of the week, with the exception of the next couple of evenings. We do have a chance for a few thunderstorms to move in here from far northwest coming across the hill country, and one or two of those potentially, this is pretty much right along I-35 and then 90 heading out northwest of there. One or two could be strong to potentially severe. High winds, hail would be the biggest threats, and these are going to be very few and far between. Same situation tomorrow as well. What about the upcoming long Memorial Day weekend? Details in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, Steven, still got some problems out there? I see a lot of flashing lights.
Yep, Mike, unfortunately, things have not really improved out here along 151. This is a shot near 410 East, and you can see traffic is still getting by with just one lane, and that's a far right lane. First responders have been out there for a little while. We had a pretty serious crash reported. The vehicle was actually in the middle of 151. First responders had to move it off, and that's why the left lane is blocked there. You could see some of them still on the scene. We did see a paramedic a little bit earlier in the morning. Hopefully everyone's doing okay, but this is not a good situation for anyone that is traveling this early in the morning. Check out that backup that's taking place out there, just continuing to worsen. State Highway 151 eastbound at Loop 410 is where that crash has been reported. I would say it's best to avoid the area until it clears up, but we're going to watch it very closely and hope for some better news a little bit later on. If you're traveling along I-10 eastbound near 35, you'll notice that there's a stalled vehicle reported out there. This is not causing any issues for drivers, but it's something to be aware of as your commute does get moving this Tuesday. 602 giving you a wide look at the metropolitan area. It's been pretty quiet for the most part in a lot of areas in town, but if you're traveling into San Antonio this early in the morning, should still be in the green from Seguin along I-10 westbound with 29 minutes at this hour. 33 minutes, that's the usual drive time for our friends down in Lavernia along 87, and of course 29 minutes for our friends down in Floresville. So take your time this morning, no need to rush, enjoy that cup of coffee, but definitely avoid this area if you can. State Highway 151, remember these are the eastbound lanes. First responders have had their hands full navigating traffic through that area. Just check out that backup that continues to take place out there. We'll watch it closely and hope for that better update coming up a little bit later on. Mark.
Stephen, thank you. It has become a dangerous trend, according to San Antonio firefighters. Another vacant house has gone up in flames this morning.
Katrina Weber is live in the 700 block of South San Agustin, not far from General McMullen and Castroville Road. And Katrina, you say they believe someone started this fire.
That's right. Firefighters are leaving it to investigators to determine exactly how it started, but they do believe that someone may have gotten inside and started the fire either intentionally or accidentally. They say there was no one living here and no working utilities. The house is back here behind me. It's a little tough to see, but I'll show you the video that we shot a little bit earlier as firefighters worked to make sure the fire was out. It broke out, or it was discovered a little bit after 4 o'clock this morning. Firefighters say San Antonio police who happened to be in the area noticed the house on fire. They got here, they saw flames coming out of it. They were able to knock it out pretty quickly. And again, no one was living here, so there were no injuries reported. It's just a matter of trying to figure out exactly how the fire started. Now, they did tell us that this has become, as you said, a dangerous trend. They are seeing a lot of vacant houses go up in flames lately. In fact, the crew that was out here this morning, I just saw them last Thursday or Friday at another similar situation here on the west side. So the bigger story, I guess, for them is to try to figure out who is starting these fires and how to prevent them, because they say that someone could easily get hurt. Reporting live on the west side, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. Fire crews also had their hands full with another fire overnight, this one at a southeast side home. This happened around 12:30 a.m. on Samuth Drive. That is not far from I-37 and Goliad Road. Fire crews were able to quickly contain that fire in the kitchen. Investigators believe an electrical problem sparked the flames here. A woman and her cats all got out safely.
Also overnight, San Antonio police investigating after a man was shot by his brother on the city's east side. This happened around 11 p.m. at a home on Kenmar Drive. That's not far from East Houston Street and MLK Park. Police tell us two brothers got into an argument in the backyard when the younger brother pulled out a gun and shot his older brother in the hip, according to police. It took off after the shooting. The victim was taken to a hospital.
This morning, we are working to learn more about the two people arrested during an illegal gambling bust. This happened along FM 78 and Beach Trail on the northeast side around 5:30 last night. Deputies say no one inside the suite wanted to answer the door when they got there. However, the sheriff's department had a search warrant, and when deputies got inside, they say 8 women and 2 men were using those slot machines. One of the two people arrested had marijuana and a firearm. Right now, it's not clear how many gambling machines were confiscated.
Texas legislature is wrapping up its regular session in less than a week. Lawmakers are still trying to get bills to Governor Abbott's desk, including one aimed at school vouchers. The Senate's Education Committee passed its version of House Bill 100 Monday. The Texas Tribune reports the bill could get a vote in the full Senate later this week. Now, the Senate's version would create education savings accounts. Most Texas students could receive up to $8,000 to help pay for school and other related expenses. The governor has threatened to call for a special session if lawmakers do not pass a bill that provides, quote, meaningful school choice. The city of Uvalde leaders are asking for privacy and respect as we approach the 1-year mark of the Robb Elementary School shooting tomorrow.
Starting tonight, several roads will be closed, in particular the ones around Robb Elementary, the downtown plaza, the Civic Center, and the murals of the 21 victims. City leaders say they are doing this to give the victims' families privacy as they have an event before a public candlelight vigil at 7:30 p.m. at the Uvalde Memorial Park Amphitheater. Mayor Don McLaughlin spoke about the importance of making sure the families of the victims have their own space to grieve.
We can't even imagine the pain that the families are feeling. 1 year, and we realize you still don't have the answers that you need, and it's frustrating to all of us. We will not feel the same pain that these families have had and can't even imagine it. But it's a pain this whole community has felt for a year. And together we'll move forward. And like I said, we're here to support the families, and that's what this week will be about.
Now, all year long, many of us here at KSAT 12 have put together a special presentation that looks back over the past year in Uvalde.
In this special project, KSAT spoke with families, survivors, policymakers, and the people of Uvalde about their loss and recovery.
I'm sitting in my bus and I just see these military people, or the board tag, because they were in camo. They have kids, they're carrying kids. And so they just dart to my bus, and I open the door, and they look like they were very, very badly injured.
No, these kids need help. We need medical attention.
And parents are trying to get inside your bus.
They were banging. And I was like, oh my God, I told him I have to go lock the door.
We will have live team coverage from Uvalde starting tomorrow morning right here on GMSA and leading up to our special 1 year in Uvalde. Katrina Weber, along with myself, will be live in Uvalde tomorrow morning.
And our special airs tomorrow at 9 p.m. here on KSAT 12. We are also streaming it on KSAT Plus and our YouTube page.
Robb Elementary School has become known for that horrific shooting, but the school had a deep history in Uvalde long before that.
It was a topic of yesterday's KSAT Explains. Take a look.
There was a contest at the time that the school was being built as to for whom it should be named.
My best friend was out there walking, and I did not know why. I did not understand.
The school issue came up. We took advantage of that.
Right. If you missed it, you can watch it right now on ksat.com.
Time now, 6:10 and 70 degrees for now.
Well, still to come, billionaire Jeff Bezos will soon be hearing wedding bells. He reportedly is engaged to his longtime girlfriend. We have details in your GMA First Look.
Plus, new calls to change the way food is labeled after the break. Why they are working to avoid confusion. And
your Tuesday forecast coming up. 70 degrees out the airport right now, and the sunrise is in progress. We love witnessing that every morning right here on Good Morning San Antonio.
And welcome back. It is 6:14. There is a new proposal to change how food is labeled with expiration and best by dates.
As ABC's Andrea Fujii reports, it's aimed at reducing the massive amount of food wasted every day.
This morning, new calls to change the way food is labeled to avoid confusion.
Freshness of any product, the most important thing is how the food is handled.
Food safety advocates, along with New Jersey Congressman Josh Gottheimer, are pushing for a change to the expiration date system, as there are currently no federal standards for sell-by, use-by, or best-by dates.
So many of us look at the date labels on food products and we instantly get confused. More often than not, we throw it away because we fear we might get sick.
Congressman Gottheimer says most date labels indicate when the manufacturer believes the product is fresh, which is not necessarily based on scientific food safety considerations.
Food manufacturers can pick a random unscientific date and game the system. I'm not saying all of them, but some of them, probably might want you to buy their food more often. So, they put a date on there that may not necessarily be the actual date it goes bad.
Advocates say more realistic date labeling would cut down on waste. According to the FDA, between 30 and 40% of all food in the U.S. is wasted. That's equivalent to about 400 pounds of food per year for every American.
Or $218 billion worth of food.
Gottheimer is now leading a bipartisan effort, asking the FDA to standardize expiration date terminology across the country.
You're telling me that a recently purchased rice or a bag of pretzels is dangerous to consume on that shelf date? Or how about your salt and pepper? You got to throw out the salt and pepper because suddenly someone came up with a random date on that?
Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
6:16, 70 degrees.
Let's check back with Stephen Cavazos.
Well, guys, things are a lot better over here. State Highway 151 eastbound, we had a pretty serious crash that was taking up at least one lane of traffic, but saw huge backups that were forming for a little while. But things are now clear. You could see first responders have cleared everything out. But remember, this crash was serious enough where we saw a paramedic on the scene. We're not sure the extent of any injuries, but we hope everyone is okay out there. Traffic, though, looking a lot better. Notice that backup has already disappeared from our map. State Highway 151 eastbound at Loop 410. If that's through your route this morning, you are in the clear. So better news to report out there. Some of the issues we spotted earlier have also cleared out. You can see a look at the metropolitan area. Roads are still open for you, but be on the lookout a little bit later this morning because we have some curb and sidewalk improvements that are taking place here along FM 1535 Northwest Military Highway. This actually started yesterday, and it's going to take us all the way to the end of the work week, May 26th. But this work starts around 7 in the morning. This is going to take us all the way to 6 in the evening, according to TxDOT. What we're going to see out there are alternating lane closures in both directions from Loop 1604 to Huebner Road. So plan your commute ahead of time. If that is through your route this morning, I can guarantee you will see some crews out there. But right now, it looks like we are no longer seeing first responders there at 151 eastbound at 410. Better news to report, but that crash was pretty serious for a while where we saw some backups bumper to bumper. Not looking pretty out there, but a lot better now.
Yeah, perfect timing. It's out of there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Stephen.
Yeah. Looks good.
All right, hitting the bus this morning. Don't need a rain jacket, anything like that. If you are going to be out late tonight, perhaps. But today, no, man, 70 degrees this morning. A little bit more in the way of humidity, a little warmer than yesterday, but not anything that's, kind of making you open up the door and go,
not that bad.
And later on this afternoon, 88 for a high temperature, mostly sunny skies. Yeah, and some humidity out there, but not too bad at all. All right, take a look at this picture. I love this one. What a beautiful, beautiful shot there. Oh, gorgeous morning after the rain in Vanderpool. Everything is nice and green, and that's the situation. And this picture is not too bad either. We do have some sunshine out there and a couple of clouds, just a few leftover ones as the sun is coming up. So we've got this northwesterly flow in the atmosphere, and that's why we've got the threat for a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms, maybe on the strong side. This particular computer model does have a couple of them in the hill country coming down I-10, but most are going to be up to the north and to the northeast of our area. And a lot of times these things do tend to live once they form overnight and then tend to die off right about the time the sun is coming up. So this model is what is showing that solution. But this is the only one that's really that bullish on the rain around here. And then we're going to be clearing out quite nicely throughout the rest of the day tomorrow. And that's pretty much going to be the situation tomorrow night as well. Now, one or two of those storms could be strong, potentially severe, basically in the hill country. But again, the majority of that would be further up to the north and to the northwest. So look at the water vapor imagery. And again, here's this northwesterly flow. This is upstairs in the atmosphere. Down here at the surface, then the flow is coming in right out of the southeast. So you've got situation going like this. And this is why, despite the fact we have this northwesterly flow, we're not seeing any break in the humidity. So dew point temperatures are going to remain in the 60s. Again, not ridiculously high, but high enough to where you notice it. Temperatures over the next few days, boy, you can't beat this. I mean, you couldn't plan it really any better. Normal high right now is 88 degrees. That's the highest we're going to be getting, even going through the weekend, and actually a couple of days lower than that. And low temperatures, normal high is 68. We're going to be within a couple of degrees of that all the way through the weekend as well. So nothing too extreme around here, which is fantastic news. And as we go into the next couple of days, like I said, today as well as tomorrow, especially in the evening hours, we've got that small chance for a couple of those storms out there in the late night, overnight hours. Only about a 20% chance or shot of that, and 88 both days, 85 Thursday, Friday, and then the weekend looks very nice. A little bit of humidity, not too bad. Monday, one or two showers. There is the possibility of that as of right now, and temperature is still going to be 85 degrees. So actually cooler than normal on Memorial Day. Wow.
That is a wow.
Yeah.
I know, because usually I think of Memorial Day as kind of really getting heating up
hot.
there. So as the unofficial start of summer, but
That'll come later.
Shh. Don't say that.
Okay. True. Thank you, Mike.
Can I say the time?
Yes, go ahead.
That's okay.
Okay, 6:20, 70 degrees.
Coming up later this morning on GMA, a teen surfer attacked by a shark at the Jersey Shore. What to know to stay alert at the beach this summer.
Well, there's a new warning out this morning on teens and social media. What you can do to help keep your kids safe online. That's coming up on GMA starting at 7 o'clock. Be right back.
Martial arts is my passion. I work out whenever I can. But with my moderate to severe eczema, it can be tough. My skin was so uncomfortable. The itching was so bad. Now I'm staying ahead of my eczema.
There's a power inside all of us to live our passion. And Dupixent works on the inside to help heal your skin from within. It helps block a key source of inflammation inside the body that can cause eczema, so adults can have long-lasting, clearer skin and fast itch relief. Serious allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems such as eye pain or vision changes, including blurred vision, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines without talking to your doctor.
Healing from within is a powerful thing.
Ask your eczema specialist how Dupixent can help heal your skin from within.
In this morning's GMA First Look, billion-dollar engagement. One of the richest men in the world, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, now set to say I do with former TV host Lauren Sanchez. A source confirming to ABC News the pair is now engaged.
If you're a very wealthy person and you are go into a second marriage, the most typical thing is to sign a prenuptial agreement.
Bezos is the third richest person in the world, worth a whopping $138 billion.
There are lawyers who are very skilled at this, who do this kind of work all the time. A lot of the billionaires on our list have been married more than once.
So where will Bezos and Sanchez rank on the list of the world's richest couples? And what legal and financial planning will the next few months bring? It's all coming up at 7 a.m. with your GMA First Look. I'm Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
In today's Tech Bites, TikTok strikes back. As expected, the Chinese-owned company is suing the state of Montana over its law banning the app, claiming the measure suppresses free speech. Montana officials say the law addresses security concerns over the app. It takes effect next year. Next, reports of a bug plaguing Twitter. Some users say their deleted tweets are reappearing on their timeline. It's unclear how widespread the issue is or what's causing the deleted tweets to resurface. Twitter has not commented on the reports. And WhatsApp is launching a feature that lets users fix messages they've already sent, but there's only a 15-minute window to do it. If you make a correction or add an emoji to a sent message, it will include the word edited next to the timestamp. Now, getting the message right the first time is satisfying, but editing feels so much more rewarding. Rewording. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Okay, Andrew. We got you. Time now, 6:26, 70 degrees for now.
Right now, take a live look at 410 and Marbach. Great shot right now showing some of that Tuesday morning sun rays. You're watching GMSA. We'll be back after this break.
Thought maybe it was just an accident, and then the U-Haul backed up and rammed it again, and at that point it didn't move, and then that's when the Secret Service police converged on it.
Tense moments in the nation's capital. Police say the driver of the U-Haul truck rammed into security barriers just yards from the White House. What investigators are saying about this being an intentional act.
Back here at home, the sun is coming up. It's a nice morning here in South Texas. We'll talk to Mike Osterhage in just moments. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday, the 23rd of May.
Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, it's beautiful out there right now.
Yeah, pretty sunrise too.
Yes, it is. Good time to get outside. 70 degrees, like Mark said, and it will be pleasant today, considering.
Yes, not quite, just splitting hairs. We're up a couple of degrees compared to this time yesterday. We're in the low 60s, matter of fact. And then by the afternoon, yesterday, we were in the mid 80s. Humidity was okay, just a couple of degrees above that. Again, splitting hairs. This is fantastic weather. Yeah, good looking sunrise. Obviously, we've got a lot of, you can see some of that sort of fuzz right there along the horizon. A couple of clouds out there. Temperature stands at 71. We've bumped up a degree just in the past hour. Dew points at 68, and that number is a whole lot higher than what it was yesterday. So yes, it is more humid out there. Not much of a breeze to speak of, and with all that moisture in the atmosphere near the ground and light wind, we do have some fog over there by Gonzales. Hints of it elsewhere. Not anything too thick. Beeville at 2 miles. We were down to a quarter mile earlier this morning, so that's improved slightly. 1 3/4 at Gonzales and 5 Pleasanton right now. So again, not anything too thick, but be on the lookout. It can get thicken up in the next couple of hours. Mold, yesterday's reading, very high, one of the highest we've had, or the highest so far this season. The updated count's going to come out in about an hour or so. And throughout the rest of today and tomorrow, mostly sunny, upper 80s. And then both nights, tonight and tomorrow night, we do have a chance for a couple of storms, especially up to the northwest, sliding in from the northwest into portions of the hill country. Thursday, Friday, fairly tranquil. Same thing with the weekend, partly cloudy skies, upper 60s and upper 80s for the low and the high, respectively, both days. Then we get into Memorial Day and partly cloudy skies. We are going to see, or at least the chance for, a stray shower or two. Not very likely at all. So if you're making some outdoor plans for Memorial Day, fire up the barbecue, head to the pool, parade, something like that, I think it looks fantastic as of right now. All the details for the weekend coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority. So you've had a lot going on this morning over there. What's the latest?
Been busy, Mike, but thankfully things are looking pretty nice. And we're not just talking about the sky. We're talking about the roads. Let's get a quick look there at the east and westbound lanes of 410 at Marbach. Not a bad shot. Folks are moving through that area and not encountering any issues. Now, this is a great shot from TransGuide, but not the only TransGuide camera that we are watching very closely throughout the morning. Obviously, our commute has seen a few issues out there, and it looks like some of them are picking up there. Assault reported here right now by TxDOT along 35 northbound at Malone Avenue. You could see a little bit of that buildup out there, and it's getting busy. So watch out if you see those stalled vehicles out there. Make sure to move over or slow down. But as of right now, that does seem to be the trending issue. There was another stall reported along I-10 westbound near Foster Road. Not really causing an issue for drivers, but check this out now. Lots of slowdowns expected US 90 eastbound. If you're heading in from Castroville, that's right now expected to see some of the congestion, likely some bumper-to-bumper traffic out there. And we're seeing just a smidge of it build up along 35 southbound if you're heading in from Live Oak. So we'll watch those areas closely. But right now, I'd say 410 and Marbach's not a problem spot. I'm not seeing any congestion on the TransGuide cameras, at least just yet, but I'll be watching things closely, and I'll have more updates coming up for you later on throughout the morning. Steph.
Thank you, Stephen. New details in the story we have been following. The San Antonio man accused of shooting his ex-wife and stabbing his two daughters, killing one of them, is staying in jail. We are talking about Stephen Clare, and last week there was a bond hearing to decide whether Stephen Clare would get his bond lowered or revoked. The judge decided yesterday on the latter.
I'm going to grant the state's motion to deny bail.
Well, we're obviously a little disappointed with the judge's decision, but what I'll do now is I'll go back to my office, I'll get back with my team, and we'll continue investigating and seeing about giving Mr. Clare the best possible defense.
Clare still hasn't been indicted. It's also not clear the district attorney will seek the death penalty in this case.
It has been 20 years and police in Schertz still don't know who killed 55-year-old Samuel Fonsteel. He was shot and killed May 22nd back in 2003. His father says he thinks about his son daily and would like closure by finding the person responsible. Call the Guadalupe County Crime Stoppers if you have any information. That number is 877-403-8477.
The search is on for the person who killed 22-year-old Joseph Benales. Now, he died on April 15th when he was shot in the head on his way home from a military ball by another driver. The Selma Police Department is looking for a vehicle that might be connected to this shooting. It's a dark-colored sports car with a loud exhaust, possibly a Nissan 350Z or 370Z. Crime Stoppers is offering up to $5,000 for any information that leads to an arrest. The Army Criminal Investigation Division is offering another $25,000. You can call the Army CID at 210-221-1050 or Crime Stoppers, that number on your screen, 210-224-STOP, if you have any information.
Taking a live look at the White House in Washington this morning, where it's now 7:35 in the morning. Overnight, a U-Haul truck crashes into barriers just steps away from the White House. It caused a massive law enforcement response with some area businesses put on lockdown.
The driver was detained, and Secret Service now say this may have been an intentional act.
ABC's Lindsay Watts is in Washington with new video and witness interviews.
Overnight, tense moments in the nation's capital. Police say the driver of this U-Haul truck rammed into security barriers protecting Lafayette Park just yards from the White House in what may have been an intentional act. Video then shows the truck ramming the barrier a second time.
I think at first I was just in shock.
This was Benjamin Berger's first night in D.C. He says he heard the crash and then saw people running.
Thought maybe it was just an accident, and then the U-Haul backed up and rammed it again, and at that point it didn't move, and then that's when the Secret Service police converged on it.
Another witness was walking in Lafayette Square at the time,
and the truck cut right in front of the path that I was going to take onto the sidewalk. So this was probably no more than 25 feet in front of me. My first thought was a medical emergency.
The driver is in custody and facing charges. Sources tell ABC News the truck has been cleared for explosives. Reuters later captured this image that shows a Nazi flag and backpack being removed from the truck. Overnight, Secret Service cordoned off a multi-block perimeter surrounding the White House and park. The Washington Post reports the historic Hay Adams Hotel was even evacuated at request of Secret Service. The driver is facing multiple charges, including assault with a dangerous weapon, destruction of federal property, and threatening to harm the president. No word yet on any motive. Lindsay Watts, ABC News, Washington.
Happening today, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is scheduled to speak before the new Democrat coalition's luncheon. This comes as leaders in Washington scramble to find a solution to prevent a potential national default, which some say could be less than 2 weeks away. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy has said debt limits negotiations with President Biden have been, quote, productive. but they still haven't solved the debt limit dilemma.
We both agree that we need to change the trajectory, that our debt is too large. And I think at the end of the day, we could find common ground.
We need to cut spending, but here's the disagreement. I think we should be looking at tax loopholes and making sure the wealthy pay their fair share.
And Treasury Secretary Yellen said it's, quote, highly likely the nation could go broke by June 1st. According to Moody's Analytics, roughly 1 million jobs in the U.S. could be lost if a default lasts a week. More than 7 million jobs may vanish if it continues for up to 6 weeks. Years of inflation have taken their toll on our sense of financial security. A new survey from the Federal Reserve shows 35% of us last year said we were worse off compared to the year before. That is the highest share in a decade.
And now to a fake image that spread so quickly online yesterday, it rattled stocks on Wall Street. As ABC's Andrew Dimbert reports, it appears to be an early lesson in the power of artificial intelligence.
This morning, a new look at the potential impact of AI-generated images after a fake picture appeared to rattle Wall Street.
A simple AI-generated fake image sparked about a $100 billion stock market move.
Yesterday, numerous Twitter accounts shared this fake image showing smoke billowing near a white building, leading some to believe an explosion occurred near the Pentagon when, in fact, no such incident took place. While ABC News has not determined the source, the image contains the hallmarks of being made with artificial intelligence.
We talk all the time about social media platforms. Every story is flattened. You can't tell where it comes from or who is producing it. This is a perfect case in point.
The image was first posted on Twitter at 8:42 a.m. At 10:03, a Russian state-controlled news outlet tweeted the image to its millions of followers. The stock market took a dip over the next several minutes until 10:09, when authorities made it clear there was no explosion. Experts have warned of hyper-realistic fake images deceiving people online as the accessibility of AI-powered tools grows.
This is only the smallest effect that can only grow. So what we're seeing today is only a small example of what is to come as this grows in complexity.
Industry leaders have pointed to AI's ability to solve problems quickly, and the technology has already contributed to medical research. But last week, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, urged lawmakers to act quickly to regulate artificial intelligence.
My worst fears are that we, the field, the technology, the industry, cause significant harm to the world.
Many of the Twitter accounts that spread the hoax carried blue check marks, which previously meant that the accounts were verified. But under new owner Elon Musk, Twitter now gives a blue check to any account that pays a monthly fee. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
640, 70 degrees.
After the break, a look at some of the news stories trending right now on KSAT.com.
Trending now on KSAT.com, doorbell cameras across the country are helping detectives find burglars. So police departments are asking for doorbell video, but can they get it without your permission?
If police ask for your footage, you can choose to share it with them, or you can simply ignore the request.
Now, police can still get the video without your consent, either through a search warrant or subpoena, or they can cite a federal law allows manufacturers to share footage in a potentially life-threatening emergency. You can read all the details now on KSAT.com.
Also on KSAT.com, Northside ISD is the city's biggest school district and one of the biggest in the state. And the man who has led it for the last 11 years is leaving. Our Steve Spriester sat down with the soon-to-be former Northside Superintendent, Dr. Brian Woods, to talk about the school district he's been a part of for 30 years. Now he's part of the conversation.
I feel good about how schools in Texas have come out of the pandemic, how they are managing the kind of learning lag that kids are experiencing still in some cases. I feel good about that. The things that I don't feel so good about are less to do directly with schools and more to do with the kind of policy and political environment that schools operate in.
And that is just part of what he had to say. You can scan this QR code to watch the full interview. He also talked about Uvalde, school safety, and legitimate fears around school shootings. As for what's next, Brian Woods isn't leaving San Antonio. He will be working for the Texas Association of School Administrators.
Time check exactly 6:45.
Go ahead and check back with our Stephen Cavazos.
Things are moving, guys, and thankfully not spotting major issues out here from the TransGuide cameras. But let's get a quick look around town and show you what you can expect for your Tuesday morning drive. 281 at Grayson. Nice shot there. North and southbound lanes don't look too busy. And 37 at 410. You can see right there, pretty quiet, but beautiful shot there at US 90 at Military as the sun starts to peak up. But watch out, because we do have some issues, not major issues, but just some. Stalled vehicle reported at 35 northbound at Malone Avenue, causing a little bit of a buildup out there for drivers that are heading into the Alamo City. So watch out there, but not the only stall that we are tracking. Have to take a drive all the way over here to US 90. This time the westbound lanes at Hunt Lane. Another stalled vehicle reported. But if you look over here, there's a little bit of yellow already building up in the eastbound lanes, and that's because it's typical traffic. Congestion is building up out there at US 90 eastbound at Montgomery, really slowing down there to about 12 miles per hour. So for instance, Castroville can expect some bumper-to-bumper traffic, and that's what we're really going to start to see a little bit more of as we take you to our map. A lot of those slowdowns expected. You can see it there at 35. If you're heading in from Live Oak, a little bit of that congestion is starting to form out there, as well as 1604 on the northwest side near Helotes. That's typical, but we're going to watch the roads very closely there. You can see some of these shots at TransGuide don't pick up a lot of the congestion, but we know this is the hour where a lot of folks are heading the road. So just remember to pack some patience with that cup of coffee. You're going to need it through morning rush.
Yes, you will. And Mike, you have a pretty picture to share.
One that makes me very jealous, looking at somebody else's plants like this. Oh, wow. The rain has helped my bougainvillea. Look at how that beautiful color on there.
Yeah.
That is absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, everything is green. The grass is growing. It is fantastic. We've had plenty of rain, obviously, in through the month of May. And now, Climate Prediction Center jumping ahead end of the month and going into the first couple of days of June. This has us at a little bit better than even odds of seeing more precipitation around here, which is good news. Temperatures will be at or a slightly better chance of being below normal. So normal is going to be getting up into the low 90 degree range as we get into the first couple of days of June, but nothing on the hot side, which is good, at least the forecast from the Climate Prediction Center. And then going out even a couple of days further, still slightly better than even odds of seeing some precipitation and slightly better than even odds of having temperatures staying on the cooler side of things, which is fantastic. Now, again, not cold out there, but nothing, no triple digits we're talking about. We got a lot of clouds out there this morning, and notice the haze off in the distance. We do have some fog to deal with. It's not real thick in and around town, but just be on the lookout for the next couple of hours. Temperatures will stay steady for the next few hours. Then we begin our warm up, already up to 83 degrees today at noon, and then we're going to be topping off at 88. That's the normal high this time of year, and humidity it's there a little bit more than what we saw around here yesterday. We had a little bit of a break yesterday, starting off 5 below normal, ending up about 3 below normal. All right, here's the computer model going into tonight, and we'll have just kind of a smattering of clouds hanging around here throughout the day, a lot of sunshine. Then we've got this northwesterly flow, so we're watching for some of these showers and thunderstorms to try and develop, but this computer model, as you saw, they just kind of zoomed by up to the north, is not real bullish on anything developing in the hill country for us, but we've got to be on the lookout for it because there is the slight chance, a very small chance for an isolated, strong, potentially severe storm, if anything should pop there in portions of the hill country. So that'll just be something that we have to be on the lookout for. We were talking about way down the road, well, short term down the road, at least for the next 7 days. Once again, temperatures are going to be at or slightly below normal, and low temperatures will also be at or, well, maybe a degree or two above normal. Rain chances are slimmer this week, but at least we do have those couple of chances tonight as well as tomorrow. And then maybe, just maybe, 1 or 2 of them around here on Monday. If you have outdoor plans on Monday for Memorial Day, I would not change anything at all. Just a stray little shower here or there, perhaps later on in the afternoon. And then those couple of thunderstorms around potentially tonight as well as tomorrow night, primarily in the hill country. Other than that, kind of a tranquil weather pattern that we're in now.
That's
other than
good,
those couple of storms. So, yeah.
All right, we'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much, sir. 10 till right now, about 70 degrees.
Tomorrow on GMSA, we will have live team coverage from Uvalde all the way up to our special 1 year in Uvalde. That special airs at 9 p.m. right here on KSAT 12. It will also stream on KSAT Plus and our YouTube page. And we want to see your messages of support to the people of Uvalde. Right now on KSAT.com, you can share your tributes and messages of hope. We will share some of them tomorrow on GMSA. Just look for the story on the homepage.
Outside with Live Cam on your early Tuesday morning. Thanks for starting your day with us here on GMSA. We'll wrap things up after the break.
Good morning. Coming up here on GMA, we'll start with the latest on that security scare just steps from the White House. A truck slamming into a barrier. Now the driver's detained, and we'll tell you the latest at this hour. Also, the negotiation going late into the night to deal on a deal to avoid catastrophic default. Where the talks stand as the clock ticks down. And the new warning this morning from the Surgeon General on teens and social media. Parents, you don't want to miss this one right here on GMA.
Good morning, I'm Max Massey. Coming up on GMSA at 9 a.m., we sit down with a woman who got a possibly life-saving procedure, and it was done by a robot. You're not going to miss it. That's coming up at 9 a.m.
We're fast approaching 5 minutes till 7.
Let's go ahead and check again with Stephen Cavazos.
And unfortunately, it looks like we have big problems here along I-10 East at Loop 410. Let's get a wide look at TransGuide, show you what's shaping up out there. Bumper to bumper traffic again, and this time more flashing lights out in the distance. Really can't make exactly what we're looking at from this particular view of TransGuide in terms of the incident, but we do know that it is causing big delays for drivers that are heading in those westbound lanes of I-10 as you approach Loop 410. So if you're traveling in from Seguin, expect some delays. You see those flashing lights out there. They've been there for a few minutes now, but we're going to work to get some information confirmed. Other than that, it's slowdowns is what's expected at this hour. Again, this is I-10 West heading up to Loop 410. We'll watch it very closely, and let's hope for a better update soon, Mike.
Got a lot of sun out there and some clouds hanging around. So watch out for a patch or two of fog. Notice at Port SA it's down to just a 1.25 mile visibility, and one over there way out east on 10 over around Gonzales. Watch it around Seguin as well. And just the next couple of hours as fog may try and thicken up a little bit. 60s and 70s, so a little bit warmer, a little more humid this morning than what it was at this time yesterday. 88 for a high temperature today. Tonight late, watch out for a stray thunderstorm in the hill country. Some could be on potentially the strong side, and pretty tranquil this week. Close to normal temperatures. Good looking weekend.
Yeah, it looks good. Well, we'll take it. Thank you, Mike. Thanks for joining us today.
Have a great day, and we'll see you back here for GMSA at 9.